Welcome to Second Listen Saturday on the Parenting Roundabout podcast, where we share some fun moments from a past episode for your weekend listening pleasure. Look for new episodes every Monday through Friday.
So this is my daughter's first year in high school, and it's my son's first year getting letter grades because his elementary school didn't use them. They just reported on the kid's progress in other ways. And he is actually doing surprisingly well, and my daughter's doing fine too. But I find that I am not that concerned about their grades. Maybe this is just because they're all A's and B's. You know, if I was seeing C's and D's exclusively, then yes, I would be worried. But you know, the B's just don't trouble me, and I wonder if that means I'm being a slacker and I need to put the hammer down, or am I just being realistic or lazy or what? Yeah. What do you guys think?
It's gotten competitive with the grades. I don't know. I would when my kids were in school, I always wished for the day when C was average, and average was not a bad thing. You got a C, you're doing about as well as everybody. Some people doing better, some people are doing worse, but you're doing that. That's fine. That's fine. Because my kids could work hard and get honest C's. But if C's are going to make you feel bad, if C's were like, well, that's almost a D and a D is almost an F and oh my gosh, you're failing, right? Well, and then you feel bad, so you give the kid an A or a B. Well, I don't know what that means. I would like to be able to say, wow, you got a C. That's awesome. You tried hard and you did your best and you got a passing grade. Woohoo. Right. But we don't seem to live in a place where you can do that anymore. Maybe we never did, because I never got C's when I was a kid. So maybe I would have been upset with them. But I feel bad that people are so focused on certain grades. I mean, I have friends who have kids in special education who are if their kid doesn't get an A, they get really upset and they go have a meeting with the teacher. And I'm like, well, but okay, then you're going to get A's from now on. But other than making you feel good, what is that going to get you?
Right. Is your child actually learning anything?
Yeah. Yeah. The last thing you want to do is say, you know what, I really don't care as long as there's an A on the report card. I don't think. But I'm in a different universe than people who are worried about their kids getting scholarships and worried about their kids getting into the, certain schools, and you have to have a 4.15 or 2.5 grade point. What is the highest grade point average now? It used to be 4.0, but I know it's higher than that now.
It depends on if they have weighted grades and that sort of thing.
Yeah, that was never my concern. So.
Yeah, I think we've got kids with 4.65.
Wow.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that are,
So how does that affect you, Nicole, in terms of following your kids' grades?
How invested are you in it?
We must live in a really strange bubble, because anything below a B is it's cause for panic.
I don't think you're in a bubble. I think that's fairly typical.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Yes, I guess so. So, I mean, I'm just, haven't grown up in this system, so I'm not aware of it, but we became really painfully aware of it probably by the time my daughter finished elementary school, and how important grades were to people here. And how, I mean, especially if you've got university set in your sights. Yeah. So as opposed to, say, a community college or...
Love community colleges. Community colleges say, bring that C over here. We'll take your money. Come on.
I know.
We'll even give you remedial if you need it. If you got a D, if you got an F, come on, we'll take you anyway.
I know. It just seems... But the universities in this area here are very competitive, and our community especially so... or at least the school that my kids have been in, have been very competitive and very, really super high-end grades. So we've spent a lot of time focused on grades over the years. Although I have to say, now that my son, he did well. He was just a bit of a, slacker sometimes. But he made it, and my daughter, she's doing really well too. So, but we really had to work hard with them in the early years to motivate them, and but now they get it, because if you want to go to university here, you have to, you got to pull in those A's.
How do you feel about that as a teacher, Nicole?
As a teacher, I can't stand it.
Yeah.
Because it is not a reflection of what most of those kids are able to do. Mm-hmm. It's, for me, grades are like a snapshot in time.
Yeah.
And I don't, there's so many reasons why kids may or may not perform on tests, and it just drives me crazy. And especially because I have two different types of kids. I've got one kid who can do tests really well. I mean, he slacks off all term and then writes an exam and gets 100%. Whereas, the other one does, supremely well all term and then goes to write the final and the mark isn't so great. So
that's hard.
It is. And so as an educator, it drives me nuts, but these standardized tests and, but yeah, it's definitely, it's the way things are. Yeah. Although a study, I think I put it on Facebook yesterday, a study just came out of Toronto, Ontario, and it was saying that homework and all this kind of rigorous, pressure to learn is not healthy for kids. As if we didn't know that.
Yeah.
I like homework, but that's another discussion.
Yeah.
I think that's part of my behavior here is just trying not to lay on the pressure too thick. I don't know. I wonder what you think about how online grade reporting plays into this, because, obviously when we were kids, our parents would get a report card like 3 or 4 times a year, and that was that. And maybe if you were really failing, the teachers would call them up or contact them. But now, I mean, we could go online every single day if we want and check how our kids are doing. And I think that's not good for a lot of parents. I mean, earlier this week, I was like, I don't know, because my kids had reported like, well, I forgot to do this assignment, or, I don't think I did very well on that test. And I had to go on the parent portal to put some money in the lunch account, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna look. But I was dreading it for like a couple days before I actually did it, because I was afraid of what I was gonna find. And then it was fine. It wasn't a problem. But I think it's just a bad opportunity for people to obsess about this stuff, right?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I certainly do. I like having that stuff online, and I am the one who is refreshing the page 500 times until the grades come up. And then I would like to have it updated daily with homework assignment not turned in, so I could say, hey, you had that homework done. Why didn't you turn it in? Let me go write a note to the teacher. I would like more information. Just getting the grades is it's so long to wait. I have no patience whatsoever. I have no delayed gratification skills at all. So I would be, all for more. But yeah, it certainly does focus people more on the grades and the very second that the grades get put out, and the sharing of the grades, which is a thing,
right? Which is another thing.
What? Yeah. I mean, I think.
What were you going to say about that?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like grades are like how much money you make. You don't tell people. You know them. It's important to know how you're doing. It's important to have that measure. You can celebrate it in the family or have concern about it in the family, but you don't post it on Facebook. And I see mostly parents posting stuff on Facebook, pictures of the report card on Facebook. Look how good my kid did. So for the parents, it becomes a one-uppy sort of thing. And then I wonder what that does for the kids. Does that make somebody who was proud to get a C or a B feel stupid because their friend got A's? I don't think it's helpful to share that information. I don't think it's helpful for teachers to read it out in class. I don't think it's helpful for parents to share it on Facebook. And then do I feel a little funny if my kids didn't get the same grades as somebody else's kids in the same class did? It just opens up a whole uncomfortable competitiveness to it. I mean, we know they're going to be competitive when they're going for valedictorian and when they're trying to get those spots in the schools and in the scholarships. And if that's something your kid is going to be involved in, then it's unavoidable. But it's avoidable for everybody else. It's completely avoidable.
Well, and it's avoidable to post it publicly.
Yes.
I mean, even if
I'm so uncomfortable with that.
Yeah. And that's like a weird privacy thing too. I mean,
yes. And I mean, even I generally have put my kids, back when my kids had report cards, I put their report cards up on the refrigerator because I wanted to celebrate them as a family. I mean, even if you got, in some college classes that were really hard, maybe they got a D, but that was passing. That was awesome. That meant I didn't have to pay for the class again. Yay for that D. And so I would put that up proudly on the fridge, but then you have somebody over and they're standing at the fridge looking over this and you see the look on your face. And I feel like, well, I don't want to take it down because I don't want to send the message that I'm ashamed of it. But at the same time, stop judging. Stop looking at that. That's not for you. I'm going to put the magnets all over the front. So it's just a weird thing that I don't remember being a thing when I was a kid or when my kids were younger, before social media.
Yeah, no, we don't share grades with well, I shouldn't say that. I think everybody kind of walks around here with the assumption that their kids are doing, as well as everybody else.
Everybody's child is above average?
Yeah. There's a lot of, I think there's probably more competition between the parents for grades than the kids here.
Right.
So yeah, that's more disturbing. That is disturbing. Yeah. That is a whole other podcast unto itself.
And I mean, it has overtones for bullying and just so uncomfortable. Well, people don't do that.
No, it's, there's all sorts of crazy behind the scenes things that happen when parents get involved with grades. So yeah.
And I bet teachers must love that too, to know that people are sharing grades around. Because then you gave Susie this grade and my precious buttercup this grade. Please explain yourself.
Yeah, well then that's when all those tests come in handy. The ones that I despise.
Yeah. Pluses and minuses to everything.
There are.
That is pretty much our conclusion every week.
It is, isn't
it? We are a consistent podcast.
There is no upside to sharing your kids' grades on social media, though. People, stop it.
No, don't do that.
Very inappropriate. No thanks.
Yeah.